Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Christina and we are going to continue talking about Azores, which are located in Portugal. In this video we are going to talk about prices, we will see what kind of malls there are and what the supermarkets look like. So let's get started right away. Let's start with an overview of the parking lot in the shopping center. By the way, pays at the parking spaces for disabled people are generally free. I don't see them parked here very often, although of course there are expectations. By the way, parking in shopping centers and in most places such as observation desks and parks is free. Actually, Ukrainians are always surprised by such things because in most places we have paid parking and there is lack of parking laws, for example in Kiev, so most people park wherever there is space. It's also a common practice to park in disabled space for free in Ukraine. Actually, there are also expectations here in the Azores, I think like in all countries of the world, but these are only expectations, not normal practice. It's also worth noting that the parking lots that are located in the open air are usually large, and one pickup truck, for example, can easily park in one parking space, and not as in Ukraine for four lots, because the parking lots themselves are not large. Now we have already gone up to the malls. Of course, one floor is a mixed food court and shops that few people know about. In general, it's very cool, convenient shopping center. There's a supermarket, a cornerly shops, and a cinema. I don't know if all the islands have a cinema, but the main one, which we are now on and which is called San Miguel, has a cinema. If we compare prices for clothes, prices and gasoline in general with Ukrainian prices, the prices here are either the same or cheaper. We'll talk about food prices later. All prices here are in euros, of course, so you can Google your currency to euro and then you will be guided. Gas stations look like this. There are more and smaller ones. Here you can wash your car yourself. By the way, in Ukraine, people rarely refuel or wash their cars on their own. Of course, there are self-service car washes, but most people use the services. Similarly, people who work at a gas station fill the car with gasoline. Here you can rent a car and see this view at once. Of course, cows are an integral part of the Azores. You can see them can be seen everywhere because there are more cows than people on the islands. If we talk about the roads, they are quite good, at least on two of the three islands I've been to. They are very good roads and very easy driving. In general, driving is easy everywhere after Kiev for me, but San Miguel and Pico Islands have the best roads. On the island of Fayal, the roads are a little different because there are more cobblestones in general and the architecture is different too. But in terms of easy of driving, markings, everything is fine. The roads are in good condition and because it's not too hot or too cold here, there is no possibility of a major breakdown, but it's worth nothing that we saw that in some places they were repairing the roads. That is, they really take care of it here and it's nice. And now we'll take a look at the airport. We are now at the airport in the capital of Azores, Ponta Delgada, on San Miguel Island. On the island of Fayal, the airport is even smaller, although it's not big here either. By the way, if you know English, you can feel free here, at least as a tourist. We have never had to explain anything on our finger, hands, as in most European cities where English is not very well spoken. And this is what the runway itself look like. From the airport you walk 3 minutes to it. Now let's move on to the supermarket, and here is the most interesting story. I guess all the prices in the video are in euros. You can pause the video and look at the prices in more detail at the moment. It will be of interest to you. This particular supermarket is a chain that is present on all the islands. These supermarkets are quite large grocery stores. Of course, there are also small markets that are located in small towns, for example, but in general, there are several grocery stores chain on the islands, and this is the most popular one. By the way, the design is absolutely similar to one of the Ukrainian chains, which called is Ashan. From the design of the store itself to the color and so on. Of course, you can pay by card and cash. There are also cash desks here, self-service. There is an option to choose English, so everything is super. You can also choose several other languages. Everything is very convenient. In this regard, I was shocked by the prices, to be honest, because the prices for food here and for everything are cheaper than in Ukraine. Also, as you may or may not know, Ukraine exports a lot of its own goods all over the world, and despite this, prices for our own products are more expensive in Ukraine. By the way, there was a video on the channel about an overview of food prices in Ukrainian supermarkets, and in recent weeks prices have risen even more. In reality, every time I go to the store, grocery store, the prices are getting higher. For example, eggs have risen by 30% in a week, but that's not what the video is about. So the Azores are located in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, so there is a lot of seafoods, fish, at affordable prices, of course. It's fresh. As for the meat, of course, everything is super because there are a lot of cows and they are free range all year round in nature. By the way, there have already been several videos about Azores on the channel and about the islands in general and reviews of the apartments where we stayed. If you haven't watched them, I'll leave a link in the description to this video and I highly recommend watching them. The pastries are all very soft and we have never bought anything bad in supermarkets or cafes anywhere. If we talk about teas, they are quite affordable here because there is the only tea plantation in Europe on the Azores. In general, on the Azores, I don't know if it's the same on the Portuguese mainland. If you've been and watched, write in the comments. They support their own production very much, and most of the goods that have a label, when you turn over most of the goods, you will really see that they are made in Portugal. In general, you can find absolutely everything in the grocery stores here, and at the same time, there are not as many people as in our Kiev grocery stores. We were in supermarkets both on weekdays and day offs. Well, in principle, this is logical because there are not so many people, only 250,000 people live here on all 9 islands on a permanent basis. And in Ukraine, for example, in Kiev, my hometown, there are 5 million people just in Kiev. By the way, look for the colors of food, and actually, if we talk about nature, it's the same situation. The colors of everything are very intense, as if they added contrast to everything. In general, Azores is a unique place to visit because there is a warm ocean here, because the warm current space is right near the Azores archipelago. There are unique white volcanic black beaches, waterfalls, lakes, unreal parks, thermal springs, hiking roads for every taste and level of training. Actually, the opportunity to ride a ferry, visit a pineapple and tea plantations. Of course, there is an opportunity to learn more about Portuguese culture because no matter how you slice it, the Azores are located in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean between Europe and Canada, but they belong to Portugal. In general, write to me about Azores. How do you like the prices for food, clothes, gasoline? I'm very interested because I'm incredibly impressed with Azores and in a sense they saved my life in a very difficult period. And we will see you in the next videos on the channel from Ukraine. And from my regular viewers, I would like to thank you for your concern, support, and worries. I feel better now, although my difficult rehabilitation period continues. And the next video will be about my life and the news in Ukraine at the moment in the coming week. So thank you for your support, and if you want to support my channel further and have the opportunity, I will leave a link in the description of this video. So thanks you guys, and see ya on the next video soon. Bye.